So good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. This is Audrey Russo, President and CEO of the Pittsburgh Technology Council. We're wrapping up the week with a lot of fun. Very happy on our guests today, as I am each and every day, but I think today is just a ton of fun and a topic that I think is pretty important to all of us that are in the world of tech and working remote and everything that's happened with COVID and, you name it. So in a minute, I'm going to introduce Kimberly Bombery Smith. And she is actually Senior Director of Workplace Strategy at Knoll. And we'll talk about them in a moment. Jonathan Kirsting is here with us today, as he always is. He's Vice President of all things media and storytelling and marketing for the Tech Council. And he's going to, at some point, we're going to do a drum roll in terms of the activity that we've had all week with people sending in photographs of their workspace. And mine is so trash, but I'm not eligible for winning any of these prizes, but it's been hilarious to just be able to see how people are really working for almost a year. It's pretty funny. So we're very thrilled to have them. I want to thank Huntington Bank, as I always do, for their work in our community, as well as them being one of the most active SBA lenders. They're very active in our tech community and across the entire community in terms of, executing and leading their civic muscle to make sure that this is an amazing place for people to live and work across southwestern Pennsylvania. Then 40 by 80, you're going to hear more about them very soon. And it's a wholly owned subsidiary of the Pittsburgh Tech Council. And we focus on workforce development, apprenticeships coming up soon, as well as entrepreneurship. So also, we have Knoll and Workscape, who have sponsored us all week. And Jonathan, you want to just set the stage real quick, and then I'll bring you back in about 20 minutes. We're going to talk about the winners.
Yeah, we're really excited. What a fun week we've had, Audrey, working with Knoll and Workscape, asking our viewers to send us pictures of their really terrible office space, home office spaces, so we can provide them with a makeover, compliments of Knoll. And we do have a winner to announce, along with some special surprises as well, too. And the thing is, the winner has to be here today, and if not, we work our way down the list.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So yeah, this is the real deal, and we cannot wait. So I think at around 12:20 or so, we're going to announce the winner and kind of talk about the details. There's gonna be some social media around some before and after pictures, which we're really excited about, because
great.
There will be some dramatic improvements. It's gonna be so much fun.
I may have to get my husband's drumsticks.
Oh, well, please do.
Yeah.
We have them for real.
Yeah, definitely do that. That's awesome. And just, the Pittsburgh Tech Council, if you're in Pittsburgh and you ever get a chance to come on over to where our offices are, we actually have leveraged the expertise of both Knoll and Workscape, and we have an amazing, beautiful environment that is very conducive to a lot of collaboration and interconnectedness across the community. So, Kimberly, thank you so much for being here today. You are in calling us from, I want to say, northeastern Pennsylvania, but that probably doesn't describe it correctly.
Bucks County, yeah, but
Bucks
that's
County.
yeah,
halfway between New York and Philly. Exactly. And let's just talk about you real quick, okay? What's your background, and then tell us about Knoll.
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is in interior design. I went to school in Philadelphia, grew up in Lawrenceville, New Jersey, and then went to school in Philadelphia. And what was funny was I ended up doing an internship at Merrill Lynch in corporate real estate, which I didn't know that, there was facilities departments at big companies. When I was going to school for design, I assumed I would just work at an architectural firm. So that was kind of an interesting early learning, but it really sort of shaped my career. So I became a project manager in corporate real estate, and now I've been at Knoll I'm in my 19th year, actually. I used to be the architecture and design manager for Knoll in New Jersey, and then in Philadelphia, in the city of Philadelphia. And almost 5 years ago, I moved into the workplace strategy on the workplace research team as a workplace strategist.
Wow, you couldn't have landed in that in a timely fashion, right?
Exactly. And, Knoll is based in research, which feels great to be on the research side of workplace. We listen to the vibe of the market to really understand what's going on, which is the really fun part. We were talking pre-show about
Right.
not being able to travel and really see people, in their environments and their habitats. So we're missing that observation part of it. But we listen to the vibe of the market all the time. And then we share what we learn through a series of white papers. And right now, during the pandemic, we're constantly writing, certainly about ergonomics, which is something we're going to talk about today, but really about getting people back to a thriving workplace, which is our latest piece that we just published. So we have a suite of resources there. And then we apply. So our engineers, our developers of products are waiting for our team to come back to them with findings about the vibe of the market, what's going on, and what's sort of the future. So we can always remain modern and timeless in the designs that we share.
So would I be putting you on the spot by saying, so what is the vibe right now in terms of the last, and particularly in our space? We work in tech, we work with a lot of knowledge workers. Obviously, there are people who work in robotics and they work in IoT, so they actually have to touch things. But what is, you probably have peer groups, and what are you hearing?
Oh, we absolutely. So the second week of the pandemic, so let's say it was mid-March, end of March, we heard from a lot of our customers that came to the research team or our sales teams at Knoll and said, we need to talk to people. We can't believe this is happening. How is it that we're not in the office, right? Because they went from being like, big financial giants in New York City going every single day on the hamster wheel to not going to the office. And they're like, we don't work from home, right? So that's sort of like pandemic panic, we were calling it in the very beginning. And then we started calling it the pandemic pause, but we gathered people together. And since, the pandemic hit, we had, let's see, at least 30 peer-to-peer roundtable discussions. We started a series called K-Talks, so we could get people to, and we do once a month, a topic of interest for people. Like this month, just this week, actually, 2 days ago, was casualization of the office. And we had a guy from Columbia University, a professor from Columbia University that talked about the casualization. And they did a study. This is like so funny that an Ivy League would do a study, but him and one of his colleagues did a study based on what they call the Zoom mullet. Have you heard the term, the Zoom mullet? That you're dressed from the waist up and that your bottom half is right. So it's like a mixed situation. And they thought when you wear a suit, you feel powerful and you feel authentic in your casual clothes and powerful in a suit. So would you feel the best of both worlds if you had a suit on the top and, casual on the bottom? But the findings were a disaster. That basically, no, that is not the result, that you actually don't feel strong or authentic. So basically they said, working from home has been such an adjustment for people, and that's sort of an aside. But the interesting finding is what it's going to do for us moving forward as we transition back into the office, because many people want to get there. So they're freaking out that people are not in place because we miss each other. We're missing chance interactions of seeing people, having people be a visual cue. I could see Audrey in the hallway and say, oh, Audrey, we forgot to schedule that time with a client. Let's put our calendars together and do so, because you need those moments of reminders, and we're missing that. And just not to mention, people miss people. They miss, talking about ball games that you get to go to or a concert that you get to go to. So like life is disrupted in so many ways.
So what about the casualization though? Stay with that for one moment. So the fact that I'm wearing my pajamas right now and you don't know it, what's the impact of that?
Well, I mean, the direct correlation is that people are maybe sitting on their sofas, maybe not for a year because they found some better ergonomic experience because they know they're breaking their back. But if they're sitting on their sofa, the casual feeling of that might be more comforting during a very difficult time of the pandemic. So will that translate back into a physical work environment? And the answer is yes. I mean, generally, even before the pandemic, there was a casualization.
Right.
We're seeing things that, many workplaces start to feel like co-working spaces, for example. That's usually the best way that I describe. I mean, there certainly are a lot of people that still plan using more traditional layouts, like a perimeter office, those sorts of things. But in general, we are seeing a more casualization of the office, and they call it, resumercial. You probably heard that blended word before, but resumercial, or what was the other one? There's another one that's the opposite of that, which I don't like to use, but a lot of people do talk about that.
Okay. And then what else are you hearing? Are you hearing that people are saying we're going to go back to the office at some point? I mean, what I'm hearing from you right now is yes, there's a misstep, right? There's a misstep in all the nuances. But what about actually what we've learned from particularly the group that you're speaking to today?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we've learned is that the peer-to-peer roundtable discussions that we brought together, mostly facilities managers that are in charge of large companies and planning, multiple campus locations or multiple office locations for them, architects, designers. We talked to brokers and real estate, and basically saying that you cannot go to someone and say, Audrey, Jonathan, you're going to be coming to the office 5 days a week again, because we've not had to for almost a year. So the habitual routines have been disrupted. We have different rituals now than we did that long ago. So what companies are having to do is survey their employees and see what their comfort level is during a public health crisis of coming back, start to archetype their employees. So really putting them into buckets, right? So you have, let's just say broadly, we would have a resident. That would be someone who would be there most days a week. So let's say 4 or 5, but they're also, the language is funny because they're also hesitant about saying 5 days. They're even saying 4 to 5, giving a little bit of latitude. Then you have the hybrid, which will be likely most employees, the numbers percentage wise with people that we know who have been surveying. That middle ground has really been most desirable for employees. And then the remote, people may choose to say to where they may have had an assigned desk at the office, they may say, I'm going to be remote, so I'll be working primarily at home unless I have to be in the office for a meeting. So we have the resident, the hybrid, and the remote worker in this archetype structure.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're hearing as well. So that's great that you're doing that kind of research. If they go onto the Knoll site, can they find some of these?
They can. Yeah. If you go right now, if you're multitasking, you can go to knoll.com. You can go to the research tab and you'll see we actually have a landing page for the Thriving Workplace. And we just shared a report. Actually, it's a 2-part series, and it shows a white paper that talks about the Thriving Workplace and what we see as projected future. And then the other one is a report on a survey that we did on hybrid work, because we know the hybrid part is what we have to solve for from a technology perspective, right? The hybrid part is the hardest when we have a phygital workforce or physical digital workforce, and you have to bring, we're all equal now. The status mostly in many cities everywhere in the US right now and abroad is this: we're all in equal squares in some video platform in every meeting, every hour, every day. Once that changes and people start to go back, I mean, certainly people have started to go back in some degree, right? I was mentioning to you, I have 2 appointments next week, which I'm like, I'm not working at home 2 days next week. It's like, it's weird. It's so weird, but there's going to be a blended environment. So we're going to have to be more tech enabled because we have tech enabled mobility now. So we're going to have to go into workplaces that are, very easy to plug and play, going in, making it very smooth transitions between locations, and great cameras, great microphones. Like, we believe that is going to be difficult to solve for, because we know there's an inequity when people are in a room together and someone's zooming in, if it's 1 or 2 people, right? In the past. Now, how do we sort of understand connecting them in new ways of togetherness so that they are really feeling equal in a meeting? So we believe that there's, there are 3 key elements to making a hybrid meeting work. One is space. You have to have the right space, maybe level of privacy, acoustic privacy, visual privacy, et cetera. The other one is technology. You need great cameras, great microphones, et cetera, way of people connecting, great flat screens. And then the third one is protocol. We've got to tell people how to behave, which is the hardest one, sort of trying to let them know the expected behaviors in these environments. So for example, you'll walk into an office, you're coffee talking, you're chatting with someone as you're walking around having coffee, and then you go into a meeting and chit-chatting continues around the table. The people on the video can't really hear what's going on. It's like a disconnect. So we have to figure out a new way of connecting people.
So let's jump into talking about furniture and
Yeah.
accessories and the importance of that. You mentioned something earlier about people sitting on their couch, which is really pretty amazing. But it just from the amount of submissions that we had for the kinds of places that people are working in, it's just astounding. It's everything from standing to lying down to sitting on the floor
Yeah.
to et cetera. So, you know, talk about that as well, because I think as employers, we have a huge responsibility to make sure that people are in sort of safe environments, ergonomically, you know, that the tools they're using are not putting unusual stress on them,
Yeah.
et cetera. And we haven't probably paid attention to that enough.
Not at all. It's unbelievable what the impact of poor posture is going to have on people moving forward. I mean, certainly the usual, the eye strain from having too much screen time. We've all probably felt that in the pandemic because all your meetings are very different. It's unlikely that your meetings from, let's say, start of the day to the end of the day pre-pandemic were all electronic. I would venture to say no. So that your eye strain, everybody's complaining that they're much more tired at night. And it's really true. Your brain is functioning different as you're staring at a screen. The other part is that we're not really varying our postures as much as we're standing behind the screen because the expectation is your presence is in the meeting is on camera, where it wasn't like that. You were sort of moving about. And we know from a well-being perspective that motion is good, right? So we want to make sure that we're encouraging an active workday. So that's why a sit-to-stand desk is great. But we say when the pandemic first started, I was doing a lot of these sort of like quick sessions with companies. They would ask us to come in and just talk to their employees about, how do you make the best of it at home, essentially? So we would talk about some strategies and things you could do, like varying your postures, for example, like simple things. So if you're sitting on your couch, don't sit there all day. Vary your posture. Go stand at a counter. And if you have no other standing counter, go to the kitchen, clear off your counter and stand there for an hour. Keep moving yourself about. And also taking breaks, taking a moment to really walk outside for a minute if you're able to do so, because you're used to doing that. You're used to transitioning in workplaces. You're used to transitioning from your desk to your car. And in the pandemic, we've been sort of stuck. You're going from your bed to your desk, wherever that is. And that might be in close proximity. So we're not getting the steps in. We're not getting all the things that would really be beneficial for us.
There's so many nuances, right? There's so many nuances to this.
Yeah.
The posture thing is fascinating. So what are the tools that we should have?
Yeah. So, well, it starts with a desk, right? Everyone needs a great desk. And if you have the opportunity to get a standing desk, a sit to stand desk, we call them, or height adjustable tables or hats, we call them. So if you have a height adjustable table, you're able to be more empowered and in control of your posture. And you're supposed to vary it. You're not supposed to stand, like I'm standing in my home office. That's actually, I like to say it's my guest room, but really it's my dog's bedroom. So my dog is displaced and displeased with me right now. But so in the beginning of the pandemic, I had a little, beautiful Knoll, of course, but a little desk that was not height adjustable. Within not even a month of time, I was like, I 100% have to get a height adjustable table because I was so used to traveling, moving about the universe. And then to be sitting at my desk, I really felt I did not feel like myself. I wasn't feeling energetic. I wasn't feeling motivated. So within a very short period of time, I got a height adjustable table. So that's one. And then starting with a great chair. So if you are someone who prefers to sit, you have to have an ergonomic chair that really gives you, again, you're empowered to change the posture. Seat depth is amazing. A good lumbar support is also something that we talk to people often about. If you're experiencing back pain, it's likely that your chair is not adjusted properly or that you don't have the choice. Most people have been sitting on, maybe a bar stool that's wooden or like some other material that's not as soft as a cushion, right? Mm-hmm. So an ergonomic chair, a great adjustable table, because I also feel like you have to get eye level to a great point for yourself in order to be comfortable. Reach is really important from an ergonomic perspective. So if you can be in control of the height of your desk, even in the seated position, so height adjustable tables allow you to get a great seat, seat height as well. And then we have to, put I was laughing when I saw some of the submissions for this contest with the shoebox and the empty boxes, because everyone's doing that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was joking in the beginning of the pandemic and saying it was a phone book, but then I'm like, nobody has a phone book anymore. I was
Right.
using my daughter's SAT book. I have a high school daughter, and I was using that fat SAT study guide to
Mhm.
start.
Yeah, I was using.
Oh, and lighting also, Audrey, lighting. So I keep getting teased that I'm in a production studio with a task light, but the lighting is really important too.
So what are you using? What kind of light are you using?
Well, I'm going to be branded, of course, because I'm
That's fine.
Knoll and I have a Sparrow. We have a task light that is an LED light that's called Sparrow, Sparrow, and it's the best because it actually spins 360 degrees, so you can really tilt it. And it also has a dimmer. So there's 3 different modes. So you can start out in one spot and then move up as the day goes on, or reverse. And again, it gives you a lot of autonomy and control over your environment.
So yeah, the last thing is that, are you seeing companies give their employees sort of an allocation if they've been working from home?
A stipend.
So some
Yeah.
financial, like as a benefit. Are you seeing that?
There are some companies that are doing that, which we, of course, think it's amazing. We started an e-commerce site for work from home that people can order directly from Knoll.com now because of that.
Okay.
But some companies are giving a stipend. What was funny, Audrey, is they, meaning big companies, didn't know that how long it was going to take. So as the pandemic started stretching on, they started reevaluating it and going, yes, we do need, like, for example, one very large tech company based in California that you probably know because you use them to search every day. They gave $1,000 per employee
Right.
to their, so that was
That
big.
here,
And,
yeah.
and then they said, you can go to these furniture manufacturers to get you some great stuff. So the stipends are really helpful for people, not given by everybody, but some people are like, I just need to be comfortable in my home office, and they're going for it.
That's great. And all that information is on there. So we have like 9-10 minutes left, and I want to pass the baton.
I know everyone's
I
waiting.
really
We're 2
do.
minutes past the
Everyone's
time. Let's go.
waiting, and I want to thank the team at Workscape and the fun that we've had all week. And we could talk to you, Kimberly, for a long time. As you know, I probably have a litany of questions that I'd love to throw at you, but we put the resources out there. We put your link out there, and take advantage of it, because this is the kind of stuff that really matters as we have teams of employees who need lots of things that many of us, no matter how long we've been leading people, don't, just underestimate what this transition really is. So thank you for that, but don't go anywhere, Kimberly. So I'm now passing the baton over to Jonathan Kirsting, and I think he is working with the Workscape team, and I am going to sit back, even though I know that Michael has asked a couple of questions, and same thing as John, but I want to get to this first. So sorry, guys. If we have time, we'll go back to those questions. So Jonathan.
Sure. So exciting. All right, Audrey. So we're ready to announce our winners here. And if I can share my screen, I can even show the entries as well too. So I might try to
do that.
And while we do that, I'm going to announce the winner right now, because I don't actually see the winner in our field of participants today, but I want to make sure sometimes they're under a different name on their screen. So if not, then we have our backups, which are equally as good, but we had to make some decisions as far as that goes.
Right.
The winner we had was a Nate Gouda from Robert Morris University. And I don't see him on the chat, but if he's under a different name, please chime in and let us know. If not, we're going to announce the 2 other ones. But we also want to announce is that the 2 runner-ups are going to get a free chair, which is pretty exciting stuff. So we're really excited to kind of spread a little extra love to all the people that participated. We did have over 30 entries, so there was a lot of activity around it, and we saw some pretty pathetic stuff on it. That's all I can say.
Okay.
Pretty sad. So let me see.
So do you have pictures? How are you going to handle this?
I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
I'm pulling up my screen here and doing that right now. Aha. All right. Can everyone see here? So our winner, who has not stepped up yet. Our first pick was Nate Gouda. As you can see, lovely use of space here. Seems like a classic setup, we thought, in many ways, as you look at the depleted chair. headset hanging from the monitor, multiple small desk with multiple items all over it. And of course, you need a special spot for your R2D2 in the upper right-hand corner there. So let's, we would love to be able to showcase that, but hey, the rules are the rules.
That's
If he's not
right.
here, instead, we will give him a chair to replace that pile of junk that he has right there. So let's go to the next winner who I know is here, and that is Tara Crowe. She works with Wolf LLC. Very excited, and her setup is right here. She is using a rocking chair, a tiny desk, and a little old filing cabinet. She needs help, and we're going to give it to her with a makeover. Very excited about this. So Tara is here. We're going to get in touch with you. Our third place finisher, who will also receive a chair, is Bill Fraze, who's a regular on this show. Now, his setup is pretty janky as well. If you look at that, I mean, he's got it going on, a lot of disorganization going on there, but we're going to at least get him a chair to replace that, early 70s kitchen chair.
Wow.
You feel so much better already once you have a
Yeah.
good ergonomic chair, every one of these, right?
And everybody who submitted an entry is going to get a discount code, compliments of Knoll. So if they go to knoll.com and they type in the discount code of WORKWFH, all capitals, like work from home, they can then be qualifying for a discount on anything they would like to purchase.
Okay, so we'll put that in the chat.
Yep.
Yes,
We'll
and that
put
will be
that in the chat.
And Tara says her chiropractor's been very busy, which we would agree with.
Oh my gosh, the rocking chair, Tara, is terrible. I'm so glad that you are the winner today.
We're going to show before and after pictures. So after the makeover is done, we are going to be spreading and showing the good work as to what a good, efficient home office can look like and function like. And hopefully we can eliminate her trip to the chiropractor. He'll be very upset. She'll be very upset. But that's okay. We want you to have a healthy back with a nice Knoll chair.
I love the fact that Tara said it's a nice memory foam pillow. That is so funny. What else? What were some of the other things that you folks saw? What were some examples of some crazy?
Well, certainly eye level in this picture that, you're supposed to be within 3 inches from the top of your screen down for eye level comfort. And this is not at all. This chair is way too low for all the way up, unless they're working. Yeah, they're straining their neck by looking up like this.
Oh my gosh. So look,
unless that's the standing posture, that could be, Bill, if you're on the phone, maybe that's your standing computer and you're working to the one on the left. I'm not sure, but the heights are way off there from a visual perspective.
So Jonathan, do you just see that Nate Gouda just popped in?
I know.
Just for everyone to say, Nate Gouda just popped in, said I couldn't get in. I was stuck on the phone with the student.
What? Uh-oh.
So we need some sort of consolation for him.
He's getting a chair, that's for sure.
Chair. Yes.
Any other love that Knoll and Workscape can throw his way would be awesome. We hate to see someone just miss this by the skin of their teeth.
Wow. Nate, we still, Ginny Rothschild, I was going to unmute her. I asked Lexi on our team to unmute her, but she leads Workscape, which partners with Knoll, and just a tremendous value to the community in terms of all the things that Kimberly was talking about and leveraging that. Ginny, do you want to say anything?
Yes, honestly, I wanted to help everybody. These pictures gave me heart palpitations yesterday. We are a resource and we'd love to be a resource, and we can work in all price levels to help everyone. So we have discount codes, but we certainly have some ability to be a resource. So encourage you guys to get in touch with us. I will be emailing every person who did submit, making it really easy. But man, oh man, we'll help Nate, Bill, and Tara out in some ways.
Well, so you can see that people have been writing on here that they need help.
Yes.
Okay, Ginny, so we will make sure that you get connected to all of them.
Well, if I can offer,
Yes.
I am actually an AOEE ergonomic evaluator. So if these 3 guys would like a virtual ergonomic assessment of their office, I can
wow.
tell them in advance of making a purchase what items would be, top of the list. We do that often with people. They'll have to fill out a questionnaire though. I have a little form you have to fill out, and then we'll set up a virtual time.
So do we have your contact information up there? Everyone's in. We all need help.
Yeah.
I'm standing and I can feel the back of my neck today for some reason.
Well, your height of your screen might be off. We don't know. We'll have to do a full evaluation.
It's pathetic. Don't mark my words. It's pathetic. But anything else that you want to say, Ginny or Kimberly? Thank you so much. First of all, thanks for Knoll with the packed information and the resources, and the research is just phenomenal. Ginny, do you want to add anything?
I mean, we've been a key partner with a lot of Pittsburgh Tech Council members. I mean, Audrey mentioned we worked with them to do their space. We're a key partner. I don't want to be a plugger of all the people we've worked with, but a lot of the places that you're seeing in the news, Smith & Nephew, Crystal Biotech, Connective RX, those are all key, jobs that we've done over the last few years. And it's really interesting to be working with teams right now as they talk about this thriving workplace. As people go back, we're going to have different expectations. So your workplace is going to have to evolve. And, we just encourage anyone, if you're involved in influencing your company, or if you have opinions and want to learn more, we have an eager team ready to help. And we're very fortunate to have Knoll and Dirt as great partners.
It's great. Workscape, and they're a ton of fun to work with too, which always helps. Not only are they resourceful. So Kimberly, any final words that you want to share with us?
Thank you so much for having me. And I do believe a well-designed environment is very inspirational. So we always have fun when we're helping people get to a better place. So thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. So Jonathan, any wrap up? What's going on next week?
Well, we're kicking off next week strong. We have Catherine Kellerman from the Port Authority rejoining us. Your second time on Business as Usual to update us on all things, public transit, how they're keeping it safe and getting people to where they need to go safely.
Even some conversation around electric buses too.
Absolutely, man. Good stuff.
Amazing.
So people, it really is Friday, that I know. Every day I usually get it mixed up and I always think it's either Friday or Monday, but I would like everyone to stay safe. Stay safe. If you can get a vaccine, get a vaccine. And these are just such important topics that we get a chance to cover, and really a ton of fun. It was great meeting you, Kimberly. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
always great to work with Workscape. If you don't know them, get to know them. There's so many ways that they can help. So everyone stay safe. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you again. See you on Monday.
See ya.
Thank you. Be well.